Coming up, you'll hear from the sister of a West Virginia state trooper that died in the line of duty.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We are learning more about a fallen hero tonight. West Virginia State Police Sergeant Corey Maynard was shot and killed in the line of duty Friday. Maynard was born and spent time growing up in Pike County. Tonight, his family is talking about the loss of their beloved brother, father, husband, son, and friend, who served his community until the very last breath. Kim Rafferty has more from Three Guys Pizza in Williamson, one of Sergeant Maynard's favorite places.
Being a state trooper, watching out for people and helping everyone he could, and he's also going to be remembered as a brother and a son and a father and a husband.
Down these streets and in these walls, memories of Corey run through his sister Patricia Bennett's mind. This was the last place she saw him.
And 2 weeks ago, we were here at Three Guys. I took him and his two kids out to lunch. And I talked to him probably 3 times a day.
He was known for how he treated people.
If you were the mayor, or if you were the little old man that couldn't buy beer at Dano's Spanos, he would treat you with the same respect.
And laughs were not far behind when you saw him.
He made you laugh even if you didn't want to. He did the best Sling Blade impression you would ever hear in your whole entire life.
The father of 2 children, a husband, and a leader in law enforcement, Sergeant Maynard turned the blue lights on and rushed to the scene of a shooting where he lost his life in the line of duty.
A lot of people have said he's a leader. He's a leader in Williamson, and he's a leader in the community. With what happened on Friday, is that his character?
My brother was the first one there. That's totally his character. He would, if he could do it again tomorrow, he would have, to protect those boys. And it's tough because they're grieving too, but they're also reaching out to us to make sure we're okay.
Patricia says Corey worried about if his children would be okay.
If you could say something to him, what would it be?
That I love you, and your kids are going to be okay. And so will Mom and Dad and Sarah. I'm going to miss you.
Here are the arrangements for Sergeant Corey Maynard. His funeral service will be Wednesday at 3 p.m. at Mingo Central High School. A visitation will be held before that, beginning at noon. The procession will leave Mingo Central High School and travel on to King Cole Highway, Route 65 and 52 and 119 North, and end in Chapmanville, West Virginia. A new law affecting perpetrators in officer-involved shootings in West Virginia took effect on Sunday, just 2 days after Sergeant Maynard's death. Cassie Johnson's law steps up the penalty for those involved in a first responder's death. In the case of Johnson, prosecutors had a difficult time proving that her killing was premeditated. The Charleston police officer had responded to a parking complaint when the perpetrator pulled a gun on her. After a struggle over the weapon, Johnson was shot. While prosecutors could not prove that the perpetrator had planned to kill Johnson, they won't have to next time. A sponsor of the bill says Cassie's law only requires prosecutors to prove that the person knowingly, willfully, and forcibly obstructed any first responder acting in their official capacity and caused their death.
I think laws like this just reinforce the fact that we're going to protect the men and women who serve our communities. They're on the front lines every day, and I think it should be an inhibitor to those that want to think about doing something like this in the future.
It's important to point out that the bill not only applies to police officers, but all first responders in West Virginia. Kentucky State Police are investigating an overnight shooting involving Harlan City Police. KSP troopers were called in early Monday morning to begin the investigation. Public Affairs Officer Shane Jacobs says once troopers arrived, they were able to learn what led to the initial 911 call.
Once the detectives with state police arrived on the scene, it was determined that a domestic violence incident had occurred. Altercation had taken place when the officers arrived at the scene.
Trooper Jacobs says officers were then confronted by the suspect, whose name has not been released, leading them to open fire. He said it is a reminder why police should have their weapons ready when serving any call.
Well, a cool night in the mountains tonight. We continue to see those temperatures fall through the 60s and eventually to the 50s as we head a little bit later on tonight. And you know it's June in the mountains when you see this picture. Yes, the bugs are already congregating around their favorite thing in the world, a light post across the street from the station. Low to mid 60s out there right now. We made it up into the low to mid 80s today. 86 London, Harlan, mid 80s out into Somerset and Williamsburg. How about 87 in Monticello today, joining their peers in Lexington and Louisville. We're down into the low to mid 60s out there tonight. A few 70s continue out near Lake Cumberland. We'll continue to see dry weather through tonight. Headed out in the morning for that running forecast. Looking pretty good as we go throughout the day. A few more clouds start to move on in as we head into the afternoon, though. Your frosted weather wheats as you pour that bowl of cereal in the morning. Looking pretty nice. Clouds, though, on the increase through the day as we get into the 60s during the morning commute. Details, Steve, on when we see a return to some showers in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. A partial roof collapse in Pikeville left the main post office branch closed until further notice. The roof on one section of the Pikeville Commons apartments collapsed, bringing first responders to the Commons area Saturday. Firefighters say no one was injured and the damage was limited to one section of the building.
As far as our interaction with it, we did a quick assessment, cordoned off the area and made sure it was secured just to keep everybody safe.
The impacted section of the building remains closed while repairs are underway, but the rest of the Commons area is still operating as usual. The FAA says it will take days to gather and sort highly fragmented wreckage in a mountainous area of Virginia after a small plane crash on Sunday killed 3 passengers and the pilot. The crash happened after military fighter jets scrambled to intercept the plane after it entered restricted airspace around the nation's capital. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from Washington.
Federal investigators are working to determine what caused a small plane to crash in a wooded area in rural Virginia, killing all 4 people on board.
We spent all day today looking at the wreckage. It is no longer distinguishable as an aircraft.
The plane took off in Tennessee Sunday afternoon, flying to Long Island, New York at 34,000 feet. For some reason, it made a U-turn towards D.C., breaching restricted airspace. That prompted 6 F-16 fighter jets to scramble.
It's an organized, operational way of policing airspace, particularly sensitive airspace over the United States in the wake of 9/11.
Officials say air traffic controllers and other federal authorities made repeated attempts to establish contact.
National Guard fighter on guard. If you hear this transmission, contact us on 121.5.
CBS News has learned one of the F-16 pilots saw the Cessna pilot slumped over and unresponsive.
Basically, everything is on the table until we slowly and methodically remove different components and elements that'll be relevant.
During the incident, the fighter jet's supersonic speed caused a sonic boom that startled residents in D.C., Northern Virginia, and Southern Maryland. CBS News has learned the victims killed in the crash include 49-year-old Adina Azarian, her 2-year-old daughter, their nanny, and the pilot. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
The NTSB is just beginning its investigation. Officials say it could take up to 2 years to issue a final report on what happened and why. Despite Kentucky recording its lowest unemployment rate in April ever, some industries are having trouble hiring. KY Stats released their projected total job openings for the 2020 to 2030 time period. It turns out the retail industry has the second most openings in the state. Employers like Steve McLean say they are having a hard time filling those jobs. He says the industry is still working to catch up after COVID-19.
Work from home options have grown a lot in the last few years. So if you're someone with young children, you know, the work from home option is something that may be more attractive.
McLean says retailers increase pay to attract more employees. However, the rise in rent and other costs are making it difficult to keep up. In the decades to come, experts say the world will be transformed by the effects of climate change, which will be mitigated depending on how society responds. That response means taking actions today to be effective. In Appalachia, the region's economy and residents will be shaped by a variety of climate-driven patterns that are already emerging. Invest Appalachia Director Balin Campbell says these patterns should encourage community development efforts.
Key economic sectors that Invest Appalachia is focused on building can really help communities adapt to the impacts of climate change, to mitigate ongoing impacts, and increase our overall regional resilience, right? I mean, during the floods, we saw that we're about as resilient as any place can ever be because we all take care of each other.
Campbell says community support strategies are key for revitalizations and protection of community centers, especially historic downtowns. The summer months bring more traumatic accidents, which can often require more blood transfusions. Those with the Kentucky Blood Center say that's why it's more important than ever for people to donate. Kentucky Blood Center Media and Branding Director Eric Lindsay says the summer months can be difficult to get donors since people are traveling and schools where they host blood drives are closed.
It doesn't matter if we had a pandemic going on. That need for blood has never gone away, and the only way we can supply our 70-plus hospitals, the only way we can save lives is to continue to get in here, to continue to donate blood. We know people are busy. We know there's other things going on, but it doesn't take very long to do and has such a wide-ranging positive impact on folks.
The Kentucky Blood Center is working to improve the amount of donors they have through more mobile blood drives and fun incentives. If you're in the Big Sandy area, you can receive free Kings Island tickets by donating blood at the Pikeville Donor Center tomorrow. And also tomorrow, WYMT is hosting our own Save Our Summer Blood Drive. The KBC Bloodmobile will be parked here outside the station in Hazard from 3 tomorrow afternoon until 6:30 in the evening. All donors here will receive a KBC t-shirt while supplies last. Eastern Kentucky attorney Ned Pillersdorf is being honored by the American Bar Association. Pillersdorf was awarded the Pro Bono Publico Award. It's for his efforts to help victims of disgraced attorney Eric C. Kahn. Pillersdorf offered his legal services free of charge to help thousands of those victims get benefits back. The ABA says Pillersdorf represented Kahn's former clients in more than 2,000 hearings and more than 250 federal district court cases. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, kids in one county have a new place to cool off this summer.
Plus, we continue to watch a few showers work our way for the midweek. Details on that after this.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Hello, I'm Franklin Graham. You know the most valuable thing that you own? It's your soul. You have a soul, you have a spirit. And the Bible tells us it will live as long as God lives. One day your body will die and they'll bury you, but your soul will continue to live in the presence of God in heaven, or it's going to be separated from God for eternity in hell. The choice you make today can determine where your soul will spend eternity. You know that God loves you, and He sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to save us. And if we're willing to put our faith and trust in Him, because He took our sins to the cross, He died in our place for our sins, and God raised Him to life. And if you've never invited Christ into your heart, into your life, you can do that right now by just praying this prayer, just saying, God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I want to turn from my sins. I want to trust your Son as my Savior and follow Him as Lord from this day forward, forever. If you prayed that prayer, call that number. God bless you.
We've been through a lot these past 4 years, and some days have been tougher than others. My granddad and great-granddad were preachers in this church. It was flattened by the tornadoes. But when Kentuckians get knocked down, we get right back up again, growing our economy so our kids can have a bright future here, getting clean drinking water to overlooked communities, and helping folks recover from natural disasters. I'll always show up for Kentucky, and I'll never stop working to make things better.
Are you or someone you love struggling with addiction? Help is available. We're here when you're ready.
For commercial real estate auctions, it's Ford Brothers Auctioneers.
WYMT weather, sponsored by Community Trust Bank, building communities built on trust.
Looking pretty nice out there this evening. Yeah, we're watching a little bit of that smokiness out there, and yeah, it's coming from a strange direction, especially for this time of year. Here's the surface map out there, and you notice that little trough has continued to bring some nuisance, little showers and storms further on to the south and east from here. We had one warning in Campbell County, Tennessee earlier, and still parts of southeast Tennessee seeing severe thunderstorm warnings at this hour. For us, we're quiet. High pressure in place, keeping it clear tonight, at least from cloudiness. The issue is that we're dealing with smoke. These wildfires are up in parts of Canada, but their smoke with the high pressure in place is kind of filtering down into the Ohio Valley, and you see plenty of it as we head into portions of the Ohio Valley, really all the way up into the northeast. So you noticed it was a little hazy today. It will remain a little hazy tonight. But the good news, no rain showers out there as we head through tonight. Few clouds start to work in tomorrow, but overall a pretty nice start to the day on Tuesday. Breaking it down, 83, that chance of rain pretty close to zero. I won't say completely. I can't rule out a downpour, especially near Lake Cumberland, but for the most part, with the dry air we have in place, thanks to high pressure to the north, yeah, the high is 83, but the feels-like temperature never really gets there. Upper 70s to low 80s. That's what happens when it's dry outside. You can evaporate more of that moisture away, so it feels cooler on the skin than it may be outside. Enjoy that while it lasts, but we do have even better weather on the way. You do see, though, clouds starting to work in, especially as we head toward tomorrow evening. I think tomorrow during the day, partly cloudy at worst, but here come the clouds. And yes, even a few showers by the mid-evening. Here come those showers as this disturbance starts to pivot in from the Great Lakes. That brings us the opportunity for showers. A couple of rumbles of thunder can't be ruled out, but for many of us, looking like a soggy start to the day on Wednesday. So your drive to work looking rather on the wet side as we head into Wednesday morning. Some of that continues into the afternoon on Tuesday or on Wednesday as well, as we kind of hang on to that. Finally, that frontal boundary starts to push south during the evening hours. Not looking at much in the way of any kind of flooding concerns with this. We've been so dry, and it's falling slow enough over a long enough period of time. We're only talking a half inch at best out there. So yeah, while we do need the rain, we're topping out about that 30% chance. May need to up that a little. It's looking more likely, though. But after that, dry till we get towards the day on Saturday, or really on Sunday. Temperature trend next few days, we're down in the 60s Wednesday before we get back closer to average on our Community Trust Bank 7-day forecast, where your weekend is always in view. How about those temperatures? Upper 60s Wednesday. Look at this. Mid-70s, upper 70s Thursday and Friday. Plenty of sunshine, low humidity. Get out and enjoy it before that next chance of rain tries to move in towards Sunday and Monday. Steve?
All right, Evan, thanks. Kids in Jackson County got the chance to enjoy some early summer fun with the grand opening of a new splash pad. WYMT's Jack Demler was in McKee and talked to members of the community about the cool new addition.
Snow cones, cotton candy, and grilling out. The perfect combination for a great summer. But in Jackson County, a fourth element is officially added to the mix.
We've been wanting to do something for our kids in Jackson County for a while.
Community members gathered at 89 Park in McKee for the grand opening of a new splash pad. It's something that kids, like Knox Tincher, have been waiting for.
I love it. I've been waiting on this. I've been biting my fingernails, waiting for all of this. I've been waiting for so long. I'm so glad it's finally here.
Jackson County Judge Executive Shane Gabbard says seeing the reaction from the community is what the project is all about.
Just to hear the laughter and see the smiles and the kids all having a good time together, it's worth everything there is to it. Seeing all the community fellowship, free hot dogs, refreshments, just a big old day in Jackson County.
The park also has a dry playground for kids to enjoy. The project was paid for through COVID relief funds thanks to a partnership between the City of McKee and Jackson County. making a splash by creating a new attraction for the community. In Jackson County, I'm Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Jack, thank you. One of our new reporters. Gabbard says he hopes to add a splash pad to each park in Jackson County if the money is available to do so.
House Republicans cook up legislation to block a nationwide ban on gas stoves.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the categories you choose. The WYMT News app, powered by Appalachian Wireless.
EKU Online provided free books, delivered to me.
Free tutoring for me.
Scholarship opportunities for me.
A better future for me.
For you.
Blood sugar, normal. If these are words you long to hear, here's good news. Gluco Gold is the complete doctor-formulated solution guaranteed to keep your blood sugar in that normal range. We're so sure it'll work for you. We'll send you a complimentary bottle of Gluco Gold. Text ORBIT to 231-231. Gluco Gold contains the clinically researched dose of a highly refined super ingredient, berberine, plus 3 more powerful ingredients. Gluco Gold will help you maintain healthy blood sugar levels while it supports healthy cholesterol and insulin sensitivity. Guaranteed. Take the first step to making sure your next checkup is better than your last and hearing those 3 wonderful words. Blood sugar normal. This exclusive Gluco Gold offer is not available in stores. You can only get your complimentary sample by texting ORBIT to 231-231. Plus, text right now and you'll receive a bottle of vitamin D3 immune support absolutely free. Text ORBIT to 231-231.
You know what they say, mornings and DQ breakfasts go together like biscuits and gravy. Oh, that's right, 2 fluffy, freshly baked buttermilk biscuits smothered in warm signature black pepper gravy that's filled with mouth-watering Purnell sausage in every tasty bite. Because you know what they say, a quality morning starts with a quality breakfast. They do say all this stuff, right? Well, they will, once they get a taste of our hearty and delicious DQ biscuits and gravy. And it's only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
EKU Online provided free books, delivered to me.
Free tutoring for me.
Scholarship opportunities for me.
A better future for me.
For you.
Gas stove regulation is on the front burner on Capitol Hill. House Republicans want to debate 2 bills that would stop any attempt to crack down on the cooking appliance. WYMT Washington News Bureau reporter Jamie Bittner has more.
The Save Our Gas Stoves Act and the Gas Stove Protection and Freedom Act would snuff out any attempts to implement a federal government ban on gas stoves.
The White House wants to limit your ability to purchase and use gas stoves.
On Monday, House Republicans on the Rules Committee voted to send 2 bills to the House floor for debate. The Gas Stove Protection and Freedom Act would prohibit the federal government from using federal funds to regulate gas stoves. The Save Our Gas Stoves Act would prohibit the Secretary of Energy from enforcing federal regulations. Democrats say the legislation gaslights the American people into believing that they want gas stoves to be banned.
Contrary to the rhetoric out there, the government is not coming for anybody's gas stoves.
Consumer expert Abe Scar of the Public Interest Research Group has been tracking the heated debate. He says the kitchen culture war boiled over in May when New York became the first state to ban gas stoves in most new construction buildings by 2026 due to concerns over fossil fuels. He says there is no current national proposal to ban gas stoves. How real is the threat of a nationwide ban on gas stoves?
I don't think there's any threat of a nationwide ban on gas stoves. What we're talking about at the national level is potential regulations at the Consumer Product Safety Commission to regulate safety risks from gas stoves.
On March 1st, the Consumer Product Safety Commission issued this letter that warned some gas stove emissions could pose a hidden hazard. Researchers from Stanford University are testing the appliances in homes in major cities to learn more about those potential pollutants.
Some of the main concerns are nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, particulate matter.
This year, a survey compiled by the People's Policy Project found that 34% of American families cook with gas. In Washington, I'm Jamie Bittner.
With committee passage, the legislation is expected to go to the House floor for a vote. Similar legislation has also been introduced in the Senate. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, the Kentucky Wildcats are off to the Super Regionals for the second time in school history. Sports has the highlights next.
You're going to be a mom, and we're here to help every adorably tiny step of the way. Now mothers and babies up to 12 months are eligible for no-cost health coverage through K-CHIP or Medicaid. Just visit us at Connect to qualify and enroll. Then sit back and relax, okay?
Is a story about purpose. This is a story about progress, about building on our past accomplishments and investing in innovation. All of this, combined with our industry-leading insurance, competitive pay rates, and flexible scheduling, is the reason why now is the time to join our team. This is our story. Let it be your story.
Today, women with nighttime urinary incontinence don't have to wake up wet. Introducing the PureWick system, an innovative breakthrough system for managing female urinary incontinence at night.
Morning, Mom. Good morning. How did you sleep? Better, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, good.
The PureWick system works outside the body to draw urine away, helping to keep skin dry and control odor. The PureWick system is a non-invasive option for management of moderate to severe urinary incontinence, helping to reduce the need for multiple changes at night or trips to the bathroom. Now, staying dry can be one less thing to lose sleep over.
Simply call 800-208-1498 to order now and find out why 9 out of 10 caregivers and users would recommend the PureWick system. For more information and to order, call 800-208-1498. That's 800-208-1498.
My name is Jessica. I came to Morgan & Morgan after a car accident. After the sign-up process, I was able to speak to an attorney right away. A lot of people think it's complicated to hire a law firm. It's so much easier than you think.
You're going to be a mom, and we're here to help every adorably tiny step of the way. Now mothers and babies up to 12 months are eligible for no-cost health coverage through K-CHIP or Medicaid. Just visit us at Connect to qualify and enroll. Then sit back and relax, okay?
WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
Kentucky and Indiana. They're not just rivals. There are two teams that enter tonight on the brink of an historic win for their programs. The Hoosiers have never been to an NCAA Super Regional. UK has only been once. Now, the winner tonight had the chance to highlight their spot on the college baseball map. A record crowd at KPP for tonight's regional final between these two. Hoosiers strike first. Second batter of the night, Bobby Whalen. He'll send this clear out to the right center wall. Philip Glasser's going to come home clear from first. So Indy taking a 1-0 lead real quick. Cats will respond ASAP, though. Bases loaded. No outs for Emilian Petre. He does exactly what he needs to do. Flies this out to center field. Gives Jackson Gray plenty of time to come home. Tie ball game. Next batter, how about this? Same result. Hunter Gilliam does exactly the same thing almost. Sends this out to right field. Home comes Jace Felker. UK leads, but Indy will tie it back up in this second. Let's move on to the fourth. How about a robbery? A would-be RBI by Glasser, but Nolan McCarthy sliding into them outs like that. Smooth, man. Retires a runner on second, so still tied. Speaking of sliding, how about Hunter Gilliam sliding this down left field in the sixth? That'll score Devin Burks and KPP. It's just straight vibing right now. Two batters later, Ryan Waldschmidt. That's going back. That's going back. It's going back. It's the wall, but the Hoosiers can't get it together quick enough. Gilliam's going to come home. Waldy going to do a little dance, pumping up KPP, and you know what? Why not? Because for the second time in program history, Kentucky is off to the NCAA Super Regionals, beating Indiana 4-2 to seal a deal. After that loss to the Hoosiers on Saturday, the Cats needed to rattle off 3 straight. They do just that, and Coach Mingione was just soaking it all in afterwards.
To have all those guys
come through and to deliver in that moment and then watch them celebrate, it doesn't get any better as a coach, because they're the ones that have made the pitches, they're the ones that have made the plays, they are the ones that went to the workouts, they're the ones that went to class, they're the ones that do it. And when you get a chance to just see pure joy, it's one of the best feelings as a coach. And that's the only thing you could ever hope for on the field, is to watch your team celebrate. Building that stadium, that's what we dreamed and hoped of one day, that we would see all those people in there. Our student athletes would get a chance to celebrate and win a championship. So I'm super thankful for them and proud of our team.
All right, and Kentucky moving on to face a familiar foe in LSU down in the Baton Rouge Super Regional. LSU winning against Oregon State earlier today to clinch their trip. This is the rematch of a series that took place earlier in the season. Kentucky did win a game there and almost won the second game there, or the third game rather, at LSU in the regular season. So it's not out of the question that they might make it to the College World Series. The Super Regional will start on Friday in Baton Rouge. Series finale between Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Andrew Abbott making his debut on the mound for the Reds. How about that's going to be Stuart Fairchild, solo shot for the Reds, and what a swing right there. The Reds in business, up 1-0 in the third. Moving on to the fourth. Tyler Stevenson up to bat for Cincy, and he'll go opposite field. Solo shot in the fourth right there for the Reds. 2-0 lead. Put the Viking helmet on him, put the cape on him, and that would end up being the final. Cincy avoids the sweep with a 2-0 win over the Brewers. And Vegas taking the 2-0 lead over Florida in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And just the Golden Knights, they were scoring goal after goal after goal after goal. And the series turns back to South Florida later in the week. We'll see if they can come back in that one. That's sports. We're back after this.
We've all experienced the peace of mind feeling when you finally find an honest company that will give you top quality products at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you. That's exactly what Window World does. Keep more money in your bank account by searching Window World today.
Hey folks, I'm Dr. Van Breeding. The pandemic has been tough on all of us, but you did the right thing and got your vaccine. And things are looking better. Well, we need to finish this fight for immunity. Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation wants to remind you that COVID-19 booster shots are available right now at all MCHC locations. Visit mchcky.com for more information. Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation, providing better health for a longer life.
Cancer, it's a very scary word. But an outstanding treatment facility was here at home.
Hey, can you hear me praying at night?
I was led to the Lawson Cancer Center.
Just make it through the day, make it through the day. Just make it through the day, make it through the day.
As a nurse practitioner at the Lawson Cancer Center, we are champions for our patients. I am so happy for Robert. The treatment worked.
Make it through the day, make it through the day.
For land and farm auctions, it's Ford Brothers Auctioneers.
We've all experienced the peace of mind feeling when you finally find an honest company that will give you top quality products at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you. That's exactly what Window World does. Keep more money in your bank account by searching Window World today.
Closed captioning presented by Wolf, Williams, and Reynolds, serving Eastern Kentucky for Social Security and Federal Black Lung.
Time now for tonight's ARH Mountain Student Achiever. Peyton Cade Ratliff is a senior at Pikeville High School, where he has a 4.0 GPA. He's won academic awards in Engineering 1 and Intro to Physics with Earth and Space. Congratulations, Peyton, tonight's ARH Mountain Student Achiever. Finally, the Perry County Public Library kicked off its summer reading activities today. The event included a special guest, Daniel Tiger of PBS show Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Daniel Tiger greeted the families as they headed into the auditorium for a show from Kentucky Reptile Zoo. The library is working to create a little more normalcy for the kids this summer through their programs. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight. You can always find the latest on WYMT.com. Colbert's on the way next. Have a good night, everyone.